In this video, we're going to talk all about how to choose and serve the perfect coffee beans for your business. So whether you're setting up a coffee shop or you're just looking to buy a coffee to serve to your own staff, choosing the right beans for your business is going to have a great impact on the customer or staff satisfaction and the revenue of your coffee program as well. The world of coffee is really vast and there are many different things that we can talk about today, but we're just going to go into some of the 3 key things that you need to focus on when deciding on the coffee that you want to choose. And we'll give a few different examples of what kind of coffee we might recommend for your business and how to serve those best as well. So when you're choosing the coffee for your business, the main thing to think about is its flavor. And there are 3 main components that have the biggest impact on flavor. Firstly is roast level. The amount that your coffee has been roasted has an incredible impact on the flavor of your coffee. And typically people will describe coffees as either a dark, medium, or a light roast. Those light roasts have a lot of the characteristics of the coffee from its origin. And because coffee beans are the seeds of a fruit, they can often taste quite sweet, fruity, and sometimes even floral. Medium roasts have spent a little bit longer in that caramelization phase inside the roaster. So they'll be a little bit more developed, a little bit more sweet and complex, but still with a nice level of clarity from that origin. Whereas dark roasts have really spent a lot of time in the roaster. They've been brought up to a higher temperature and they've been caramelized even further. So dark roasts can often taste very sort of caramel and chocolatey, along with picking up some of those biscuit and nut flavors with a little bit of bitterness too. Secondly, impacting flavor is the way that the coffee was processed. So the coffee beans are seeds of a fruit, and the way that the bean is processed or removed from the flesh of the fruit has also a great impact on its flavor. The 2 most common are a washed process and a natural process. A washed process is when water is used in some form to remove the flesh from the seed. A natural process, on the other hand, just mimics what happens in nature. So the seeds are often left to dry, ferment, or even rot, and the seeds become a lot easier to access that way. And the 3rd key aspect on the flavor of your coffee is whether you choose a single origin or a blend. And we've done a full video on that you can check out just here. But in summary, a single origin is a coffee that has come from one place. So it will often have very obvious origin characteristics of that place. A blend, on the other hand, is a coffee that contains a makeup of multiple different origins. So that could be used to create a more complex and well-rounded coffee by picking different origins that suit and match each other. So when you're deciding on the perfect coffee for your business, it's really key that you get into the mind of your customer and what kind of flavor profile that they are going to be looking for. So if you want a high quality, really interesting, young and trendy focused coffee, you might want to go for a light roast with a natural process and a single origin that's going to offer a lot of interesting characteristics in the cup. Whereas if you're going after maybe a more elderly and traditional demographic, you might want a blend dark roasted coffee that's going to give a very familiar coffee flavored experience. But there are lots of other things that you want to take into account. As a business owner, you need to make sure that you're getting a great price for your coffee. Get in touch with a bunch of roasters, ask for some samples, or maybe visit their roastery, try a bunch of different coffees and see which ones your customers might prefer and which ones can get a great price and value for your business. Here at Bridge, we have multiple different brands and over 20 different blends and single origins to really cater every single business's coffee to their customers to get the best value and experience. But where do you go from here? How do you choose the perfect coffee for your business? Well, of course, every business and every type of customer is different, but in general, we give 3 different recommendations depending on your type of business. So type 1 could be where coffee is just an added extra to your business. Usually you're serving coffee on a bean to cup machine. It could be self-service, or it could just be the case that your staff have lots of other things going on, so they aren't necessarily high quality baristas themselves. In this case, most bean to cup machines will have 2 hoppers for your coffee. So we would recommend a dark or a medium house blend for your go-to caffeinated option. This is going to be a really well-balanced and crowd-pleasing coffee that suits black coffees and milky coffees too. For businesses like these, I would really recommend our Amico range. So coffees like our Amico Odyssey can be a delicious traditional house blend. And then we have our incredible Amico Decaf as well for those decaf options, both providing a really delicious coffee to your customers or your staff. For businesses that want to take a bit of a step up in terms of quality and service, we normally recommend a slightly higher quality specialty grade house blend as their main coffee. Something like the botanical coffee from our Roots range is a really fantastic option. We find that it's really popular with a wide range of audiences, with fruits and chocolates in the tasting notes. And it's fair trade too, which a lot of businesses love. For those businesses, we recommend a traditional espresso machine and a on-demand coffee grinder as well, like a Anfim Luna, an E65 or an E80 by Malkernig. That's going to give you a really consistent and high quality house coffee for your milky drinks and your black drinks too. And we also recommend having a really delicious decaf option as well. So ideally, you can invest in a second grinder to keep your decaf nice and fresh. Grinding it fresh means you can dial in your coffee every day, make sure the recipe is tasting perfect, and you're getting all of the aroma from the coffee and it's not going stale. The single origin decaf from our Amico range is once again a delicious option for businesses like these. You can buy that in whole bean and grind fresh, or you can buy it pre-ground in smaller bags that will maintain that freshness for as long as possible. The third option is for businesses that really want to get to that highest level of coffee quality and service. Once again, we recommend a barista-led traditional espresso machine setup, but this time we're going to recommend having two different house coffees. Firstly, a medium or light roasted blend to really offer some incredible flavors for your milk drinks. And for your black coffees, that's your Americanos or espressos or your filter coffees, we're going to recommend a delicious single origin medium or light roasted coffee with lots of traceability and flavors from the origin. Once again, we need a great decaf option, and ideally you can afford a third, albeit more affordable and lower volume grinder to serve that fresh decaf every single time. So if you found that helpful, but you still want to find out more, don't hesitate to get in touch with us here at Bridge Coffee Roasters, and we'd be happy to host you in our showroom or roastery for a tasting if you're in the UK. Otherwise, let us know in the comments down below if you agree or disagree, or what kind of coffees that you serve for your business. Like the video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one.